I'm going to start putting this at the beginning of every tier list video because people seem to ask the same questions for every tier list video. So I figure it's easier just to put this here. And when somebody says something pertaining to a character or me in the tier list, I'm just going to say, go watch the beginning of the video. And I promise y'all are going to see me in the comments saying, go watch the beginning of the video, because there's so many people that don't watch the beginning of the video. And yeah, I'm just going to leave this right here. I say this at the beginning of every tier list video, but I'm going to try my best to keep the tier list short. I don't like how long my tier list videos be, so I'm going to try to keep every character opinion to 1 minute and 30 seconds or less, or 2 minutes and less. So let's get into this. All right, at number 1, I have Johnny. Now I'm going to try to get through the tier list fast, so I'm just going to give y'all bulletin points on the character. I'm going to try. Johnny, I feel like this one is easy. Best movement in the game, best pressure in the game, the most tournament wins of any character in the game, most popular character in the game. I feel like the hardest part about being a Johnny player is how you're going to downplay him this week. People have tried to like lower him to even here since the game has been out, or like here, but no, Johnny is undeniable in my opinion. A lot of people like to make the excuse that he doesn't have a projectile, which is a ridiculous statement to me, because he has so many ways around them, and this is a cameo-based game. You can put a projectile on anybody, and on top of that, the character just does too many things better than anyone else. Some more bulletin points. A mid that is faster than a grab. Like, that's insane. Some of the best universal defensive mechanics combined. Like, he has an invincible wake up, a forward advance and armor move. He has the hype meter thing that he doesn't even need. This character is undeniable, in my opinion. And again, like I said, the hardest part about being a Johnny player is figuring out how you're going to, make people feel like he's not as good as he is. I've made so many videos on this character. So if you want to see how I feel about this character even more, just check out the plethora of videos I've made on him. Easily the most downplayed character in this game's history. He is, in my opinion, number 1, but I feel like it's debatable with Homelander. All right, at number 2, I have Homelander. Now, before people riot about this, I feel like you can swap these two if you want to debate it. The problem is a lot of people have Johnny at like 4 or 5, which that's just not true. If you are going to debate who's the best in the game, I feel like the top 4 I put here should be the characters you are debating, and people don't put Johnny up there. So why I think Homelander is not number 1 personally, and it's simply because of this. Homelander has cracked offense. He has, in terms of his offense, not pressure, 50-50s. Homelander has some of the best ways to open you up and get good damage off of it in the game. And if you can max out his stats, like his offense would be at a 10, his neutral is good, and his damage is okay. Well, really good in the corner with Farah. But everything else about the character is either lackluster or not good. But that doesn't matter because his stats are maxed out in offense. See, the thing about Johnny is a perfect character. Johnny does not have a flaw. And again, a lot of people like to bring up that projectile thing. That is not a flaw. He has multiple ways around projectiles, and he could just throw a projectile on, and he has the most cameo synergy of anyone in the game. Johnny does. I feel like Homelander is cracked at what he does, but he isn't perfect. He has weaknesses, like his down 1 being bad, his armor being terrible. He has genuine weaknesses, unlike Johnny. I still think Homelander is cracked. Do not get me wrong. He is absolutely cracked, but he's cracked at what he does, not a completely perfect character like Johnny. All right, now at number 3, I have Havoc. I feel like Havoc is a very dumb character now. They completely cracked him. And whether people want to argue if he was bad or not before, I have no opinion on that, because every one of my tier lists, I genuinely said about Havoc, I don't have a right to judge him because he's not played a lot. I don't play him. I don't see him a lot, so I don't know where he's at. That's what I would say before. But now, easily one of the best characters in the game. And I feel like they just cracked him for the sake of the DLC, so people will at least care about him a little bit. They literally gave him an unreactable overhead and low mix. They gave him a armored low launcher as well, and just a regular low launcher. So now he has 50/50s in his strings. The air kick move, that's also an instant 50/50. They gave him resets, like 80% combo resets. You can knock anybody down with a combo, slide Movado neck snap into, deleting their health bar. The character's just insane now. He is really good, and I'm fine with him being right here because he was not really played that much before. I think he's a gorilla annoying character, but I do think it's okay that they leave him how he is for a bit, just so he can have a chance to shine before they nerf him, even if they're going to nerf him. I really don't know if they are. If you would have asked me week 1 or 2, I would have said yeah, but I don't know if they are now because he's not even really that popular anymore. But we're going to see what they're going to do with Havoc. At number 4, I have Sindel. Sindel was a character at the beginning of the game's life cycle, and even the middle, I didn't believe in that much. I really didn't. I feel like a lot of people were overrating her for the most part, but I do think she is as strong as people say she is now. And the main reason, I know people really believe in Kung Lao Hat with her, and I think that's really good now too. Now, like before I did it, but where the game is now, I do think it's really good. But her with Tremor is just ridiculous. She gets hard to blockables from almost any touch anywhere. Like the thing with Lao Hat is Lao Hat, you can't do it all the time. And Lao Hat is not guaranteed. It's a 50/50, but they have to set it up. You can armor through it. It's not completely real. When she puts the mix on you, when you're scared to armor, then, it's real. You got to guess, but she has to get you to that point on top of not being able to do it in the corner as well with Kung Lao. But with Tremor Assist, it just completely cracked her, in my opinion. She can, as long as you have the execution to be able to do Tremor Assist at like any time, like off of her meter burn, hair move in the air, or just doing it off a reset, which is easier. I'm just talking about the harder one is to do it off of the meter burn projectile, like at any time. You can be really scary with that character. But we're not going to see a lot of Sindels at all because she does take work with Tremor, and a lot of people are allergic to that. So be lucky that this team is hard to play because the team is ridiculous. And if it was easy to play as like a cookie cutter Johnny, then you would see this character everywhere. Still see her a lot, but most people don't even play her with Tremor because a lot of people can't. But Tremor unlocks the true potential of Sindel, in my opinion. And with Tremor, she just gets so much. All right, Kenshi. This is what I can save time on because this one's really easy. Kenshi is comparable to Homelander. Really good at what he does, but not a perfect character. For Kenshi to be cracked, he has to put you in that sandwich position and just run wild with Sento. When he gets you there, when he has you sandwiched with Sento, he is the best character in the game. But there's a lot of characters that don't have to deal with that and have an easier way out of it. But if you are a character that don't, or even a character that does have a way out, and he gets you out of resources, you're actually dead. You're guessing like 10 50/50s over and over again. And it's self-explanatory why that's very good. Character is not perfect, but what he does is so good, it doesn't even matter. And once he gets you, again, Kenshi always say he has 3 different tiers. He has him with Sento out and you're sandwiched, that's the best character in the game. He has the base form he's in when the match starts. That form is like A-. And then he has the Sento form where he's supposed to have Sento out when he has a sword out, but Sento's not there. That form's like B tier. So when he got Sento out and you're sandwiched, best character in the game, easily. But he has to get there first. So that's why I think Kenshi is as good as he is. Now, at number 6 and 7, I have Natara and Scorpion. Natara is just an abomination. Like, if I could remove any character from this game, it would be her. I don't know why in every fighting game they always got to put a character that's playing Marvel in every fighting game, but yeah, she's that character. She is just an abomination. Simply, there's no other way to put it. She does 50 to 60% 50/50s, and it's just all over the screen like a crackhead. Like, the character is an actual abomination, and I hate her archetype. I hate characters that are meant to be played like the way she is, and giving her Farah just made her disgusting. Like, I hope this character stayed down here forever, but it was inevitable that she was going to get buffed, and of course they buffed her the wrong way. I just think the character is disgusting personally. If you like her, I don't know what to tell you. Again, if you want an easy top tier to pick up, literally just low in the 50/50s into freaking literally 60% combos. I'm not even kidding. Character's insane. Just a crackhead, idiot playstyle type character. That's ridiculous. And Scorpion. This is a character I cannot defend anymore at all. I feel like with the implementation of Farah and making his back three cancelable so it works with Farah naturally, because they came around at the same time. I feel like his character is undeniable now. Can't defend Scorpion. He is disgusting now because the way that they decided to change him was make him a dark 50/50 character with still his really good neutral. So if you want a, again, cookie cutter, easy top tier to pick up, you got Johnny, Natara, and Scorpion. Again, just completely cracked him with the addition of Farah in the game. I feel like the buffs that they gave him would have been okay and everything. He probably would have went up a little bit, but I still think he would have been one of the worst. But with Farah, again, he's undeniable. I know people like to argue that, like, oh, he's good with Jax, or he's good with Janet, he's good with Mataro or Sector, but I don't agree. I feel like literally if you're going to play Scorpion, just play Farah. You have no reason not to. Unless you want, I guess, the chip playstyle, you have no reason not to play Farah. Farah gives him great damage off of mix or even without mix. You get vortexes into like real vortexes. You get a vortex with the spear, and then you can end it with a Farah 50/50. You get like better neutral than Scorpion already has. You can just teleport into Farah, full screen. The back three jails in the Farah, so you get half screen 50/50s there. You get a grab combo. Like, it's just ridiculous. He became one of the most dirt cookie cutter top tiers in the game with Farah, and I can't defend the character anymore at all. All right, and the final member of S tier, I have Cyrax. I feel like Cyrax is a great character. She's personally one of the characters I play a lot, a part of my team basically, and I think she's really good. I feel like we will not know how good she is for a while because being someone who has played this character a lot of people do not know how to fight this character. They don't. Like, people will let you get away with forward two with a bomb on the ground and to grab, and you can easily jump out of that. Like, there's just so many things that the NRS community lets set up characters get away with, and I didn't really understand it before because I never really played setup characters like that. But I've always wanted to play Cyrax. You know, with me really getting into NRS games with MK10, when the character came out in MK10, the character was literally good for like 2 weeks, and then they nerfed the character to the ground. And you know, I would see videos before how good the character was in 9, so I was always interested in playing the character. But when they killed the character in 2 weeks in 10, that sucked. But in this game, I feel like the character is still really good, but a lot of people don't know how to fight her. So I genuinely don't think that they should nerf the character or buff the character even if she needs it. Who knows? I feel like this is a safe spot to put her. The character has really dumb vortex potential, but same thing with like Kenshi. She's really good at what she does, but you know, she has weaknesses as well. Her neutral buttons, you know, the buttons she uses to play the game are not good at all. You know, besides back three and grab, you know, those are the buttons she needs to open you up, but buttons to actually like throw out in the neutral and just play the game, she does not have really good buttons based off of that. But this character can definitely steamroll you when she gets started, but a lot of people don't know how to get out of it. So for the cameo choice, I don't know why Janet is right there. What the heck? Let me go ahead and change that. Now, I personally think the best cameo for her is Serena, but I feel like Sub-Zero is a safe one to put because her biggest weakness is going against Sub-Zero assists. So you can you know, make that go away by putting on Sub-Zero assist as well, and it also synergizes very well with her. But I think Serena is a very underrated cameo for her. I feel like, you know, it's, you know, on the lazy or boring side. If people want to say that, I don't want to say lazy, like the boring side, if people think it is. But the meter drain that you get off of every touch with Serena, and they have to wait there and you're back forward one, and you can just drain their meter, they actually cannot play the game if you keep them in the same vortex. So I think the character is good, but I also think a lot of people don't know how to fight her. So I won't be surprised if she ends up inevitably in one of these tiers right here. But right now, I think this is a safe spot to put her. All right, and up next, I have Noob and Ermac. I feel like these are another two characters you can swap. So far, we have the swappable ones. These two, and I feel like you can also swap these two. I feel like Ermac is a really good character in the game's current state. With the stuff that people are finding out with him and Janet, he's undeniable now. Character literally hits you for 60% off of almost any touch. The difference is with this character, the character has to get that touch. And it might be harder for the character to get the touch, unlike, you know, a Scorpion or a Natara that, or a Homelander that can easily open you up. This character has to play, you know, new Mortal Kombat to open you up, not just regular 50-50s. He has to play the mid auto shimmy grab game to open you up, which is still potent. It's just not as accessible as just playing a dirt 50-50 character, you know. But this character can easily run rampant on you and has amazing tools if you have the execution to use them. This character has a high ceiling cap and can still end up becoming one of like these characters. But I feel like a lot of people praise Ermac, but people seem to forget what he can do is really good. And he is good at what he does, but you don't really get mega rewarded for playing the character, if that makes sense. So let me break that down, because I feel like some people might argue this. Ermac is naturally like right here, but if you become really good with him, I feel like a lot of people think he's like up here, but I think he's right here. Still, again, top 10, one of the better characters in the game, but at the end of the day, you can just have a different game plan. Like, his game plan is strong, but the meta characters, they have a much easier game plan than him, and they're still just as potent as him. Like, he's one of those, like, he's really good, but I can't think of a reason that you would play Ermac over a lot of the other top tiers. Even though he is up there, I feel like you'd have an easier time and could dumb the game down to a point to where you don't even have to learn all this stuff with Ermac. So at the end of the day, character's naturally like right here. But if you become really good with him, a lot of people think he's here, but I think he's like right here. So now Noob. I think Noob is a very interesting one to place. Again, the new characters, they're harder to place, period, but I feel like Noob could actually genuinely be right here. But this is a safe spot to put him. Noob is perfect. I tell my friends about Noob all the time because I actually feel like a lot of my friends would resonate with this character, and they actually do like Noob. But I tell them all the time with Noob, Noob is a very good character, but no, actually Noob is perfect. Noob is perfect, but he has to spend resources. He's a heavy resource dependent character. Character has everything. Really good 50-50s, really good full screen presence, really good up close presence, grab combos, crazy damage, cool. Like, he's a cool character. That don't really matter, but just throwing that in there. He is really good, like, at everything he does, but he has to spend resources. That is not a big flaw, but it is something that to note. Like Johnny is cracked without having to spend resources like that, and Homelander is cracked without having to spend resources like that. Noob has to dump them resources. He needs to spend all that bar. He needs to spend all that Movado to be good. But again, if you don't think that's a flaw, that's, you know, personal. But I just think, you know, other characters don't have to do that. can be dang near perfect without having to spend all their bar and all their cameo. It's either one or the other. No, this character needs both to be good. So yeah, I think Noob is a very good character, but he has to spend resources. A lot of resources. All right, up next, I have Rain. Now, Rain, it's really simple. Rain is one of the best auto shimmy mix-up characters in the game. Character literally, all you gotta do is throw Janet on, backwards grab into a Janet combo, into a safe jump, into another grab guess, or you do the mid, or you do the standing 2-1-1. That's this character. He doesn't really have amazing zoning. He has good anti-zoning. Like, he can't really zone you, but you're not gonna zone him either. His skill cap, you know, it reminds me of like Ermac in a way. You know, I think he's good, but why would you play Rain when you could play one of the easier top tiers? You know, unless you just think he's cool. But again, the way he's designing the game, I don't really personally like it. Again, I think he's a lame character, honestly. But if you do like him, hey, that's you. You know, I'm not gonna knock it. But the character is genuinely just a safe jumping, vortexing, auto shimmy character. It's literally just, are you gonna get mided, are you gonna get grabbed, or standing 2-1-1? That's what Rain is doing all day, and he's good at it. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, now I had to make a couple adjustments because I forgot about Liu Kang. Liu Kang is really good in this game. He's ridiculous. The only thing that stops this character from being right here is he gets checked by Sub-Zero assist and he doesn't have any range. But him with Mataro is cracked. Mataro got buffed a couple months ago that a lot of people are overlooking the buff and what it does for Liu Kang. They gave Mataro an actual full screen teleport where he's just not behind you, and that makes Liu Kang ridiculous. It gives him a range poke with the back forward 3. It gives him ridiculous pressure still. He, again, has a grab combo from it with the pressure. It's just crazy. On top of the fact that he has ridiculous armor breaking, the character is kind of meant to play like Rain in a way, where he just, you know, knocks you down and keeps you guessing and has tools to really stop you from zoning, but not gonna completely zone you out. Like, yeah, Liu Kang zoning's okay, but it's not like crazy level. It's good though. But yeah, I think he's a really good character and a really overlooked character with Mataro. I feel like a lot of people who want to just have a quick, easy, lazy top tier need to try him with Mataro. It's really good. It's actually baffles me how people don't play this more. You want to know how I know Katana's really good? It's because the Katana community doesn't say crap about her. If you've been in the NRS community for a while, you know that if Katana is not good, the community will be more loud than Sub-Zero players. If you have been in the community a while, you know that. And the Katana players are hush mouth right now. They're not saying a dang thing. But besides the point, I think Katana is a really good character. Katana's just a fair top tier, honestly. She actually, in my opinion, has some of the best zoning in the game if you actually know how to zone. And she is really meant to outplay you a lot. I know a lot of people might not like her because she's a zoner and might not like the fact that I'm saying that she has to outplay you, but she really does. She doesn't really have any derp ways to beat you and not a lot of grab combos. If she had more grab combos, then I could say she's more derp, but no, the character actually has to outplay you to beat you most of the time. And I think she is a really good character, definitely up there, but a character that's never really going to be popular because, again, she has to outplay you a lot to win, and a lot of people don't want to do that. And her best cameo can be debated, but again, I think she's a perfect example of a good, fair top tier that doesn't need any changes at all. All right, and up next, I have Melina, Ashura, and Reiko. So, Melina. Melina is a very good character. She is meant to be a jack of all trades, really, and I think they really succeeded at making her a jack of all trades. She has mix-ups, but they're not too crazy until she gets you, knocked down. And you have to guess between the standing 1-2 and the loud hat. She has really good meterless damage. She has really good mobility. She just is all around a good basic character. It's really surprising that they made her like this, because usually they make her like a crackhead type character, but she is still that if you want to play her that way. But in this game, the character is really solid, genuinely. Like if you just want a basic, straightforward, pick up and play, get rewarded for being decent character, this is your character. And I have Kung Lao here, but I personally think Farah makes her really good too. So you can swap those two out. I feel like they're equal. They just do different things. You can put Chameleon on her as well. Again, I know the community that likes Melina, a lot of them like to play crazy, but no, this character is actually one of the better characters if you play lame, and just a very consistent character if you become good with her. And I think this is a good spot to put her. One of the best jack of all trade characters in the game. Now we have Ashura. Here's the thing about Ashura. Ashura is a good character. Ashura was a character that a lot of people thought was like right here at the beginning. And she still could be like somewhere around here. But I feel like Ashura has had this thing that a lot of characters in other fighting games deal with. It's called getting power crept. I feel like with the game changes and the cameo changes and the character changes, a character that was perceived to be like right here now and can still be perceived to be somewhere around here, I think she's naturally right here. The character is really good, but her flaws are more game mechanic flaws. She doesn't synergize with a lot of the cameo system well. She actually needs a very specific way to play with cameos, and a lot of cameos do not synergize with her kit very well. If they did, the character would easily be right here. On paper, she has everything, overhead, low, mid, range, armor. Her armor is broke. That's the one thing about her that is actually broken, her armor. But everything else, it's all just okay because it doesn't synergize with a lot of the cameos well. That's why to this day, Serena is still her best assist. A lot of people like to, put Movado or Chameleon in the conversation, but no. She needs consistency. She actually does, because she doesn't have a good kit without it. And I feel like she just got power crept by a lot of other characters. And if she had got like what a Scorpion got, how Farah completely changed how Scorpion is and complemented his kit. If they do something like that with Ashura, then she could easily be over here or like that. But again, power crept, and she doesn't synergize with a lot of assist. Now for Reiko, this is one I have to give props for Sonic Fox for. I know a lot of people don't really like his opinions and he be having hot takes sometimes, but Sonic Fox described Reiko perfectly. I cannot think of a more perfect way to describe this character. He compared the character to Tekken. How in Tekken, they say there's big Tekken and small Tekken. And when he broke Reiko down one time, he talked about big MK and small MK, and he was completely right. Reiko's small MK is very good. The overhead is broke. The splat damage, the sweep is broke. His projectile is dumb. He has really good small things, but when it's time to go towards the bigger tools like the mid and the command grab's cool, but you need the right cameo to use it. He has that Ashura thing. He doesn't synergize well with a lot of the cast. He falls off when it comes to the big MK. So yeah, his small MK really good, but the big MK isn't. And I feel like, again, if you want the breakdown of that completely, go watch what Sonic said about Reiko in one of his last tier lists, because it was perfect. Because I just completely agree with it. And I don't want to just say it like every other, character take, it's my own opinion, but his opinion was so perfect on Reiko that I'm just going to leave it at that. Go watch what he said about Reiko, because I broke it down a bit, but again, I'm trying to keep the tier list at a certain length. All right, up next I have Sector and Shap. Sector, I made a complete video about Sector if you want to check that one out. It still stands to this day. And the main thing I want to mention about Sector is where people thought I was being, off about it in the video. They were like, she can combo off of her double low. That's not what I meant. So the thing that holds Sector back, honestly, is her double low does not have a lot of synergy with cameos. I'm not talking about letting the whole string rock. I'm talking about she just can't go low, low, and then cancel. She has to do the last hit. And that alone, again, fighting games have so much nuance. That holds this character back so much. If she was able to double low you and get full combos, and I'm talking about with most of the cameos, not do a double low into the final spin kick she does. I'm talking about just the first two kicks on the ground. If she could do that and get combos, the character would easily be like right here. But I feel like they purposely tried to hold this character back in multiple ways because, again, even if she got more grab combos with most of the cash, she could be right here. She's a character that was meant to be played like Liu Kang and Ermac and Rain, but they tried to make her a jack of all trades, and I think they just messed up. But if you want to hear more takes on it, I have a whole video about it. If you want to go watch that, I feel like that would be better to just go check out the video on her. Because, and another thing, Chameleon and Movado are her best assists. And I want to point out, I was one of the first people that said that. You know, a lot of people were all over Mataro, but no, I'm like, nah, I believe in Movado and Chameleon for her. But even now with Chameleon, I feel like she could be right here with Chameleon. But, you know, I'm not sure, so I'm going to place her like right there. I feel like that's a good spot to put her. Now, Shao makes me mad. Not because of the character or anything. It's just the perception of the character. I actually decided to try to pick this character up, you know, a couple months ago. And he is good. I did good with the character, but it did not last long because people talk about Shao like, you know, he's right here. But I'm going to keep it very simple why Shao isn't as good as everyone said he is. Because tier list is getting a little too long, so let me break this one down really quickly. Shao needs too much from assist. There is no assist that makes Shao perfect. If Shao puts on an assist, he's sacrificing something no matter what. That's it. Shao does not have an assist that makes him perfect or dang near perfect. Shao always has to make a sacrifice with an assist. That's it. When he throws the weapon down, he's very good. And besides that, like I said, the character has to sacrifice way too much when it comes to the assist system. All right, now let me go ahead and line some more characters up right here. So I have Reptile right there. And then I'm going to put Baraka after that. And then Raiden. So let's talk about all these characters. Reptile. Reptile is a really good character. I honestly feel like you can debate he's right here. Like the best of the, you know, really good characters. I don't feel like he could be placed up here, but I feel like this is a good spot to put him. Reptile is one of those characters that is just a really good, well-rounded jack of all trades. He has really good neutral. He stops you from playing neutral a lot with his projectiles and his amazing buttons. He has a really good low. He has, you know, really good mobility, really good damage, but he just isn't absolutely cracked at anything he does. Maybe besides the damage, but everything else, you know, if there was like a scale to put Reptile, he's like a 7 across the board, which there's no problem with that at all. He's just, you know, a really solid, basic, good character. That's about it. You know, not anything too crazy, not anything too, you know, bad, just solid, good character. From solid, good character to this idiot, let me say something right now. I'm so happy that this character is right here. Baraka being up here at the beginning of the game was one of the worst things to deal with. I'm so happy this character for idiots is right here. But all jokes aside, which is not a joke, let me not even say it's a joke because I meant that. This character is just a derp pressure character. That's all. Derp pressure chip character. And I'm happy that he's right here. He doesn't have a lot of assist synergy, you know, with the really good assists to even put him up here. And let's be happy for that. Let's be really happy for that, because like Scorpion, this character is one assist away from being up here. His basic tools are good, you know, decent neutral, um, really good mid, but he doesn't really have good damage, but his pressure is good. He can really just get around the screen a lot with his jump, down forward too, and Kano just allows him to play crazy and be safe. That's about it. But I'm so happy this idiot is right here. I'm so happy. I never want to see Baraka up here. Like, I'm one of Baraka's biggest hater. Like, I don't care that he depressed in this game. Keep him right here. I don't want to see this character good at all. I cannot stand this character, even now. But not to say I got a problem with fighting him or anything. You know, I really learned the matchup and how to deal with him. I had to at the beginning of the game, because Baraka Cyrax, oh gosh, no. Keep this character right here. I'm so happy he's right here. But yeah, the character, you know, it's a lot like, I won't say a lot like Reptile. I was going to say that because, you know, Reptile is like a 7 across the board. I feel like Baraka is like a 5 on some things, but like an 8 on other things. But those things that he really needs to be good at, you know, and also having that assist synergy, he just doesn't have it. And I'm really happy he doesn't, because Baraka being top tier was pain, actual pain. All right, up next we have Raiden. I feel like Raiden is in a okay spot right now. He was one of the best characters in the game at a point, and actually the best character in the game at a point. But he has seen a lot of nerfs, and he has that thing like a couple characters have. He doesn't synergize well with a lot of assists. So I feel like he's just right here. And, you know, if you think that's okay, that's fine. You know, I think it's a shame a character so cool is not being played more. But he had his time. I made a video talking about him and everything. I just feel like he's just a basic, you know, solid, okay character now. But keep in mind, I think every character A tier and up is good. Again, it's just he gets outclassed by some characters. I feel like Sector is his best assist now. It gives him the most of what he could do before, like the good damage, the safety off of Storm Cell if you use it right, and he gets a grab combo. I feel like if you still want to play Raiden, you either need to play Chameleon or Sector, and he's still a solid, basic, good character. He's just not cracked like he was before. Good jack of all trades. Simple as that. All right, I have a whole video on Sub-Zero, so if you want to check that out, Sub-Zero, if I could leave a quick spark notes about the video right here, Sub-Zero is a really bad character in my opinion, base, you know, really bad. But I feel like with Chameleon, he gets saved. It's simple as that. Go watch my whole video if you want to know more about Sub-Zero. I've made a lot of videos on him, so I don't feel like there's a point of covering him much here. Again, Sub-Zero, bad character base. With Chameleon, he's good. Only Chameleon. Maybe he might get away with some stuff with Sonya, but I only believe in this character with Chameleon. Lao was one of the best characters in the game, but his most recent nerfs, I think, hurt him a lot. Everybody knew that he was only good because of that armor, so them taking that away and giving him a air throwable hat was a joke. If they were going to nerf his armor, they should have buffed him more in the other departments. They completely gutted this character, in my opinion, because literally all he had was armor. That's what made him Lao, and he's gone now. And if you still want to play him the way before, you can use Goro, I guess, a bit, but it took his assist synergy away. You know, if you want to play Lao now, I feel like you have to use Goro. And I feel really bad for Lao players because, of course, he was going to get that armor nerf, but I thought at least they were going to do more to make up for that nerf. All right, now let's get straight into the B tier. So when it starts at the B tier, I feel like these characters can be considered either bad or, you know, just not that great. Again, A and up, I think they're all good. But I feel like you can consider these characters not all that. So let's start off with Peacemaker. Peacemaker is one of the most nerfed character in the game, easily. And he was really good, actually top 3, but they completely gutted this character, and like Lau, for what they took away from him, they did not give him anything to make up for it. He is a zoner archetype, but that archetype isn't really working for him anymore because they nerfed so many of his tools to do that. And even with like his pressure and everything, not only did they nerf his zoning, they nerfed his pressure and his anti-zoning as well. He just got nerfed a lot. And I don't really see this character being saved at all. So yeah, that's where Peacemaker is at. Tanya is one I'm not too sure about yet. I'm just going to be completely honest about Tanya, her nerfs, you know, of course the Tanya players were saying it's a big deal, but honestly, with her nerfs, they seem like you can get around them. But again, like Lau, armor was her identity. That was the character. And they at least tried to give her something more. They tried way more than Lau to make her playstyle different, but I don't think it was enough. The charge stuff, it just wasn't enough. So I think she's here right now, but this could easily change. You know, she could be here or maybe here. We just have to wait and see. Sector is one I'm very, very vocal about because Smoke is a hard one to rate because Smoke is really good, and I mean really good against bad players, or if you just didn't lab him. Like, I have a friend myself, and I'm going to link him to this part of the video. He is actually a decent player, but if you watch him fight Smoke, it seems like he doesn't know how to play the game. And he has the potential to learn how to deal with this character and completely dominate it, but he's just being lazy. Just keep it, like, you know, real. He's being lazy when it comes to dealing with the character, and so every time he runs into a Smoke, the Smoke runs rampant. Now, he is a player I know that's better than most people, and he still has problems with Smoke because he won't lab the character and learn how to deal with the character. So I can only imagine a casual level player when it comes to dealing with Smoke. Because if you are actually a decent player and understand how to play the game, fighting Smoke is nothing to you for the most part. Unless the Smoke player is just naturally better than you, like much better than you, you should not have a problem with dealing with a Smoke around your skill level. He has very, very bad weaknesses, and I feel like he doesn't play the game well at all. And I made a whole video talking about the character if you want a more deep dive into it. But yeah, that's just where I think Smoke is. Smoke is really hard to rate because if you are a below average player, or maybe even average, but I want to say below average player that, or just don't know how to fight the character is going to run rampant on you. He just is. But good players, they can deal with Smoke no problem. And that also segues me to Omni-Man. Omni-Man, same thing, but not completely. See, the thing about Omni-Man is he is an okay character, but really good at the lower ranks. You know, bad players probably hate this character, but Omni-Man cannot open a good player up for the most part. You just can't, or it takes way too long to open a good player up with Omni-Man. Omni-Man has decent tools. He has okay tools, but he doesn't have a way to open you up by himself. If he had a way to open you up by himself and could use more of the cameos, oh my gosh. Like, I can't even describe how good he would be. But since he doesn't, he's right here. You know, a good player is going to not be afraid of Omni-Man at all. Like, not even a little bit, because they'll never open you up. Yeah, he might be flying around the screen doing crazy crap, but a good player is just not going to get opened up by Omni-Man. It's as simple as that. And Quan Chi is another one. I feel like I'm noticing that these three characters all have the same thing. If you don't know how to fight them, or you just are a below average player, yeah, they're going to run rampant on you. And Quan Chi is definitely up there. See, Quan Chi, if you don't know how to fight this character, bruh, if you don't know how to fight Quan Chi, if you don't have specific ways around that armor portal with your character, Quan Chi is over here. He's over here, but naturally he has some of the worst buttons in the game. Everything but his zoning, and I mean everything but his zoning, is lackluster. And overall, he has some of the worst tools in the game and the worst like frame data in the game dang near, but when he get that armor portal on you and you don't know how to deal with it, oh, it's free. Like, but the thing is, you have to know how to deal with it with your character. There's not just, oh, this is how you deal with it. You have to know how to deal with it with your character. So again, some characters he could be right here, but just naturally, Quan Chi is like around here. So another character, let me go ahead and put her up here, is Li Mei. And actually, I would put Li Mei like right. I would put her right here, honestly. Li Mei is a character that I feel like a lot of people, including myself, felt like she was underrated. But if you actually lab her for real or like try to play her, you will realize why a lot of people don't play her. Her range is very bad. Her projectile is not good against good players because you would just duck them all day and she has no way to make you take the chip. Her auto shimmy is good. Her like 1-2 and her grab mid mind game, it's okay, but she has to get to you first. And she isn't really scary anywhere but in your face. But she has no tools to get in your face real quick. And even with her assist synergy, she can't even use an assist that will put you in her. She can't even use an assist that will put her in your face real quick because she needs assist for other things, like to be able to get her dumb damage. So I feel like, again, she's one of the characters that suffers from assist synergy, and also she just got them T-Rex arms. She's just not that good. There's absolutely no reason to play Li Mei in this game. Not a singular reason. And honestly, the more I'm talking about her, I would put her, I would put her like right here. And with the last three characters, I have Garrus here, Takeda here, and Shang here. Now you could swap these two out, honestly. How I would put it, think I would put like Takeda right here and Shang there. I made a whole video talking about these last three characters, and again, I don't want this tier list to be too long, so the video is very recent. If you want to know how I feel about these three characters, just check them out. I'll do a quick rundown. Garrus, just really bad, and he doesn't have a real archetype. Takeda, another one that feels like, Sector, he has good tools, but it feels like he was purposely held back from being good. And a lot of people, the below average player, when he was new, just saw, oh, that damage, he's good. No, he's not a good character. Again, I broke the character down more. And quick breakdown of Shang is, Shang would be good if his two archetypes, like, not even archetypes, if he wasn't a split character, if both of those tools were combined into one, he'd be a good character. And there you go. That is my tier list. Again, I tried to keep the video as short as possible, but I have to break the characters down at least on a surface level. And as long as it's under an hour, I'm good. Next tier list, I'm going to try to aim for that 35-minute mark. But, yep, there you go. I hope you all enjoyed the tier list. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And Nickopz out.